Hello, beautiful internet family. My name is Dan Davis, and I'm the creative director here at danstube.tv, as well as the Fearless Drone Academy, which is the ultimate online drone course for beginners. And today, I've got my review on the newly released Mavic 3 Pro. Now, I've reviewed all of the Mavic 3 series on my channel, the Mavic 3 Classic, the Mavic 3, and the Mavic 3 Pro. Now, I wanted to get into just a standalone review of this absolute powerhouse, the first tri-camera system. I think that's what they refer to it as, the tri-camera system. 3 cameras in here. It is a powerhouse and a very impressive drone that I do not think will be dethroned in a very, very long time. If you are interested in the Mavic 3 Pro, then I do actually have an exclusive partnership with the D1 store. This is the DanceTube subscriber combo for the Mavic 3 Pro. I have a few other bundles over there, so check out the link in the description below and all the details that I've got down there. But definitely check that out if you want a cracking deal on the Mavic 3 Pro. That's for Australians, Aussies, anyone living in Australia, someone visiting Australia who wants to get themselves a drone and is planning on moving over here. You know, as long as you're based in Australia, you can get yourself a really good deal over at the D1 store. And I'll also have some Amazon deals below as well, if you are interested in the Mavic 3 Pro. So what do we have on our hands here with the Mavic 3 Pro? This was a surprise release for me when they brought this one out. I've already done a comparison between the 3 drones, so definitely check that out after this video. But as you know, the Mavic 3, if you've been keeping a close eye on it, the Mavic 3 had the 2 camera systems, then we got the Mavic 3 Classic with the 1 camera system. Now we've got the Mavic 3 Pro with the 3 camera systems. Very interesting release. I was not expecting this, but very exciting to have the control of 3 camera systems while you're up in the sky. So what do we have on our hands with these 3 different camera systems here? So first things first, we have the Hasselblad camera system, which is on all of the Mavic 3s. So the Mavic 3 and the Mavic 3 Classic have the same Hasselblad system. It is a 24mm equivalent, and it's a 4:3 CMOS sensor, 20 megapixel stills. It's a very impressive camera system. One of the largest camera systems on a prosumer DJI drone, unless we go higher than this, but this is like one of the pinnacles of DJI in a very long time. So 4:3 inch CMOS sensor, which is like a micro 4/3 system. So that's for the main Hasselblad camera. Then we've got the medium telephoto camera, which is a 70mm equivalent, and this is a 1/1.3 inch CMOS sensor. You can capture 48 megapixel stills as well as 12 megapixel stills, and this is the 3 times zoom. So you do have some other options with digital zoom in here, but the wide angle, which is the Hasselblad, is just a 1 times, and then it goes to a 3 times with the medium telephoto system, which is equivalent of 70mm. And then we go on to the 3rd camera system, which is the telephoto camera system. It is a 166mm equivalent. This is the 7 times system, and it's a 1/2 inch CMOS sensor capable of 12 megapixel stills. This is what we saw on the Mavic 3. So the Mavic 3 has the telephoto and the Hasselblad system, but the new offering here is the medium telephoto system, which is a really nice sweet point at that 3 times zoom. The Hasselblad camera system does have adjustable aperture at f2.8 to f11. Then when we look at the medium telephoto system, that is a fixed aperture at f2.8, and then the telephoto system is again a fixed aperture at f3.4. When we look at the resolutions now of the different camera systems, so the Hasselblad system, which is kind of like the flagship camera system out of the 3, this guy actually can capture 5.1K at 50 frames per second. You can also capture 4K at 120 frames per second, which is the slow-mo offering, and it does look really nice. Then when we look at the medium telephoto as well as the telephoto camera system, which are the other 2 camera systems above the Hasselblad, they're capable of 4K up to 60 frames per second, so still great. You can't get the 5.1K, but you're getting a lot of different options here, and they all look great together. You know, like you can cut between the different focal points, and you're going to be able to use all the footage because it looks very similar, and I'm impressed with all 3 camera systems. It is kind of crazy that with digital zoom we can get up to 28 times. So you've got the 7 times, which is the 166mm equivalent on the telephoto system. So that's like 7 times when you look on the screen. But if you press and hold and drag down, or if you just press on it a couple of times, it will change between the different digital zoom options, and you can go up to 28 times. At that point, it's a little bit, bit dodgy, not usable, a little bit pixelated. You know, I wouldn't recommend 28 times for most people. You can definitely use some of the other points before that, like the 14 times. Seems to be pretty usable, but I mean, it's just crazy to see, like just the 7 times is enough. And that's like the native resolution. You're not cropping anything in. Really impressive stuff, but the fact that we can go to 28 is just kind of crazy. The Mavic 3 Pro does have a lot of similarities as the other Mavic 3 series, if you've looked into them at all, but we do get the same omnidirectional obstacle avoidance. A very similar design. This is a heavier design though. Overall, it's 958 grams compared to 895 grams if we look at the other Mavic 3s. So it's slightly heavier with that larger camera system at the front. You do get the same omnidirectional obstacle avoidance, so it can sense every single direction it can avoid. You do also get APAS 5.0, which is really advanced for dodging obstacles. And the active track's great, the point of interest, the spotlight, all of those tracking features are phenomenal on this guy. The obstacle avoidance is next level. It can dodge anything. It's kind of crazy what it can do. And then on top of that, you're getting a really large battery system here. It's giving you 43 minutes of flight time. The other two Mavic 3s give you 46 because of the larger camera system here. I'd imagine the extra weight. We're getting 43 minutes of flight time. Still really impressive. Just get yourself a few batteries and you're set for a very long time. So you're getting a lot of really cool features as well. All the intelligent flight modes. You're getting cruise control. You're getting waypoints, which is really exciting. I love using waypoints on the Mavic 3. The fact that you can plan out missions now in-house on the actual DJI Fly app is really nice. And all of those other features that you're getting are great. There's so many different resolution options, different intelligent flight modes and tracking modes. There's just a lot going on with this system here. It can handle really anything that you chuck at it, any sort of wind conditions. Like I said, with the active track, it can go through the tightest gaps and move around really, really reliably. And it's just a great drone, as you would expect for the price point and for the advancement here. This is just such an amazing drone. If you can even have a chance to use it, you will be blown away. It really is quite impressive. And if you're really into, you know, a lot of production, if you're in real estate, if you're doing, you know, lots of kind of cinematic stuff, or you're working for people doing short films, you know, whatever it may be where you think you've got like a professional application, having those different focal lengths actually does make a big difference. You're getting a different perspective in the image, different kind of dynamic range, and just like it creates a layer, you know, as you're like capturing whatever it is in the foreground, you're just getting so much to it. And it also means that you can film things that you wouldn't typically be able to because you're flying a distance away. So legally, you know, you're flying a distance away, but you're still getting those really clean shots, nice and close up, but you're flying safely away from the subject or whatever it is that you're capturing. You can use a few different controllers with the Mavic 3 Pro, but it is using OcuSync 3 Plus, so you're getting 15 kilometers of range, and you're also getting 1080p at 60 frames per second as a live video feed directly to your phone, or if you have a different controller, it'll be to that controller itself. So really impressive. You're not going to have to worry about range, reliability, or the feed that you're getting. It's all just really great stuff. As you can probably see, the Mavic 3 Pro does have a lot going on for it. It's not going to be for everyone because it is quite an expensive drone. If you are interested in any other drones, definitely check my channel out. I've got comparisons on pretty much every DJI drone that's come out. I've got some really cool bundles on the D1 store for different drones if the Mavic 3 Pro is too expensive for you. But if you do ever have a chance, if you're wanting to take drones more seriously, if you've got a job that actually, you know, expects you to have a drone, like in real estate, for example, then this could be a really big upgrade for you. It's one of the safest flights, or it is the safest flight I've ever flown, just because of all the obstacle avoidance, you know, because of the battery life. That's that reassurance that I'm not constantly checking the battery. I know that I've got heaps of time, and especially if you're used to like 30 minutes of flight time, you'll be looking down at the system to go, oh, I probably should come back in soon. Especially if you fly a lot, you'll be used to it. You'll still have so much battery life left. You know, you could still have like 50% battery life, 40% battery life, whatever it may be. You know, you're going to be like, oh, okay, I can still fly for a while, which is kind of crazy. Love the design of it. It handles the sky perfectly. The camera system is next level. Like, to be able to use those 3 different focal lengths does make a big difference. And I love it that they do work well together. Sometimes the 7 times I've noticed when I am flying and there's a lot of wind, I do notice a little bit of the bouncing. I do find active track on the 7 times to be, you know, not the most reliable thing in the world. I find the 3 times to be pretty decent. The wide angle works great, but it's interesting that 7 times for active track just seems to be a bit hit and miss. Yeah, I don't know about that one. Don't know if that's like a usable option if you're going with the 7 times, but you know, it is more of a zooming option, so you probably would just purely be using that for zooming. But I guess as you've kind of noticed, or as I've alluded to, you can use active track with all 3 modes. They haven't limited the different cameras that you go into. It is kind of crazy because it's like swapping between the 3 camera systems. So when you jump into one, it does take like about 1.5 seconds, maybe 2 seconds to actually swap the camera systems across. You can't swap them mid-recording or mid-mode or tracking or anything like that, but you can swap them pretty quickly. And then in the explore mode, that's even quicker again. I've got a video showing you how that all works, how the active track works, the key features, the key takeaways from this new camera system here. So check that out on the channel. But it is honestly such an amazing drone. I realize that a lot of people can't afford it, so definitely have it on your wish list. It's definitely up there. It has to be the best drone I've ever tested. Just a tri-camera system is next level. Like, the possibilities are endless with this guy. Battery life's great. It's a beautiful system. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. I will talk to you very soon, and I appreciate all the amazing support. Peace.